In Florida, a teen stabs and kills his mother just 1 year after he kills his father. In Louisiana, an officer-involved shooting leaves a perpetrator dead and questions regarding the safety of Denham Springs hotels. And in Florida, the case of a 7-year-old who died due to malnutrition on Christmas Day now has some arrest. These stories and more coming at you today, Tuesday, September 17th on Real Life Real Crime Daily, and I'm Jim Chapman.
Woody Everton.
And both of us should be barred from DraftKings.
I know, right? Boy, what a bad weekend.
Oh, gosh.
Horrible. I mean, I don't understand how you can do that poorly.
Yeah.
We're unreal.
We're Tiger. Not, there used to be some famous bettors back in the day. I can't think of, the great Swamis or whatever.
Yeah,
it ain't me. I can tell you that.
Right. And I don't even know how they get it so close. If they say it's 3.5 points and the game ends up being 3.5 points.
I don't know either.
And then,
I don't know either.
Then you got a 50% chance of picking it and getting it right. And I
still got it wrong. Same here. Well, we'll move on to some other things. First, with the hurricane we just had, the town of Killian, Louisiana, in particular, got some major flooding issues. Blood rivers and the Tickfall River actually overtopped their banks. And believe me, Woody and I both know how it is to flood. It's no fun at all.
It sucks.
First, I want to say our prayers are with all the people of Killian, and Jeff Taylor of the Livingston Parish Assessor actually asked me to mention if you got flood damage anywhere in Livingston Parish. I know we have a lot of people that listen from this area. Contact the assessor so they can make a note of it and ensure your assessed value of your home is logged as currently damaged, so you don't get taxed to death when you've got a flooded house.
And yeah, he's a really good dude. He helped me. After the 2016 flood, it was 2016 flood. Our ship was destroyed too, but rebuilt. And then we had I think it was Hurricane
Ida, wouldn't it?
And you and I were at a luncheon, and he was there, and he said, "Hey, Woody, I know your shit got destroyed." He didn't say shit. I know your house got destroyed. Contact my office, and it really saves you a lot on taxes. I mean, it was uninhabitable.
Right.
And instead of having to pay thousands of dollars in taxes, it was knocked down to almost nothing.
That's right. And so they don't know if you don't tell them. They fly those drones out there, but they can only see so much. So reach out to them, 225-686-7278, if you've got some damage, and let them know. Second, if you're listening to this show, and I would say there's a better than average chance you're probably a true crime fan. So
right.
If you're local to Livingston Parish or the Baton Rouge area and you want to test your skills out against, Woody, dare I say, the bona fide experts of true crime?
Yeah, well, we don't have to eat those words.
I know. Woody and I are on a team, and you can test out your true crime knowledge skills against us at Big Mike's Bar and Grill on Monday, September 30th at 6:30 p.m. in Denham Springs. And it's going to be a lot of fun. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. Come say hello to us and try us out.
Team members can be up to 8 people on a team.
Yeah. So you can get, I think, 8. Yeah. I think you're right. 8.
And, it would be a lot of fun, and hopefully we don't shame ourselves.
Hopefully not. And I'll post the link so you can sign up on the Facebook page, and because you have to sign up, it sells out. They had a Disney one several weeks back, and it was overflowed in there. So should be a lot of fun.
Mike's is a cool place, and he's a cool dude.
Yeah, very cool.
I've known him since like 1989.
Really?
It's an old place.
Florida.
Florida. Yeah. So
I remember those days.
Yeah, good food too.
All right. Well, Woody, you want to start us off?
Let's go to some true crime time for Tuesday. And y'all, this is a hard one. A boy, 7 years old, died of severe malnutrition on Christmas Day, and finally his family and caregivers are charged in his death. And the arrest come nearly a year after Deontay Atwell died on December 25th, 2023, 2 days after his 7th birthday. Look at the picture of that sweet baby.
Yeah, he's a beautiful.
And An investigation into the death of a 7-year-old boy who died on Christmas Day has led to the arrest of his 3 relatives and 2 caregivers in Florida. And the prosecutors say it was a result of severe malnutrition. And now autopsy findings for Deontay, who was 7 pounds at the time. Now, 7 years old, and he only weighed 7 pounds.
Yeah.
Most
kids are born
at
that way.
At that way. My granddaughter was 7 pounds when she was born a month or so ago.
That is so sad.
7 pounds, y'all. And he was described as a medically complex child. Showed that his bones were protruding through gaping holes in his skin. Wow. And Deontay required around-the-clock skilled nursing care due to having thoracic spina bifida. A condition that occurs when the spine and spinal cord don't form properly. This according to the Mayo Clinic. And hydrocephalus, CEPHALUS, which is a buildup of fluid in the brain. He had also, he had a breathing tube and a feeding tube. Now, the Fort Lauderdale Police Department, who responded to the original 911 call that reported Deontay as being in respiratory distress, said that a thorough investigation showed that several family members, as well as home health nurses, did not conduct the appropriate medical services, resulting in the aggravated abuse and death of the child. The family members include his mother, Michelle Doe, who's 37, who had previously made a GoFundMe campaign asking for funeral funds for her baby boy, who she claimed had died due to his birth defects. Dirty bitch. Doe and Deontay's 20-year-old brother, Tyreek Irvin, have been charged with murder in the first degree, aggravated manslaughter of a child, aggravated child abuse, and 2 counts of neglect of a child. And they also face charges connected to the neglect of 2 other boys, ages 9 and 16 at the time, who lived in the residence. Can you believe that?
No, I can't. And the 7 pounds thing blows my mind, man.
Bones sticking through the holes in the skin. But so James Graham Deontay, who's Deontay's 70-year-old grandfather, has been charged with aggravated manslaughter of a child, neglect of a child, and failure to report child abuse. According to the Broward State Attorney's Office, evidence found in Deontay's home included 264 unopened bottles of feeding formula, which established that he had died during a scheme to defraud Medicaid. It conservatively estimated more than $10,000, but less than $50,000. Sick fuckers. Merlande Maltimer Amida, 47, who's the owner of Samaritan Home Care Provider, Inc., has been charged with felony murder in the 3rd degree, aggravated manslaughter of a child, Medicaid fraud, and neglect of a child. And Cassandra Lassigey, the 33-year-old nurse assigned to care for Deontay, was charged with murder in the 1st degree, aggravated murder of a child, felony murder in the 3rd degree, aggravated child abuse, and Medicaid fraud. And it's sad to say that Deontay had suffered all the way through his death by the people that were supposed to be caring for him the most, said the detective, Jacqueline Sanchez. According to the Broward State Attorney's Office, Irvin, Amida, and Lassigey are being held at the Broward County Jail without bond. And if Graham posts his $2,000 bond, he'll be placed on house arrest and blah, 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 whatever. Just fucking horrible. Y'all, if you suspect child abuse, call the Child Help National Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-4A-CHILD or 1-800-422-4453. And all calls are toll free and confidential, y'all. And it's open 24/7. So, and they speak 170 languages.
One of the worst things you could do in life is hurt a child. And I don't know if there's a strong enough penalty for
spinal
people
bifida,
like that.
and they turn it into a profit thing, and she starts to GoFundMe and all this shit. And I mean, all the
And it's
why
sad.
not feed the baby? You got the fucking food there.
Yeah.
I know that. I mean, I know that stuff's expensive. Like I bought some for my granddaughter when I was over there, and it's like $65 for one container of it, and they had 100 of them unopened. I mean, they sell that shit on the street. I know that, but it's crazy.
Well, we're going to stay in Florida, but we're going to talk about your favorite sheriff.
Polk
County.
Yeah. It's
Grady Judd.
Grady Judd again. Sheriff on the shelf.
That's it. Sheriff on the shelf. Grady Judd reported this the other day, and this is pretty shocking. A 17-year-old by the name of Colin Griffith brutally stabbed his mother to death in Florida. Griffith called 911 saying his mother, Catherine, was stabbed in the neck. Griffith said the wound came as a result of an altercation between himself and Catherine, and it occurred after she lunged at him with a knife and fell on top of it. By the time police got to the scene, Catherine was already dead. When deputies asked Colin what happened, Colin reportedly refused to cooperate. He instead demanded to speak to a lawyer.
Right.
17-year-old, I want my lawyer. Investigators carefully analyzed the crime scene, discovering that what they uncovered did not match what Colin told the 911 operator. Witnesses said they heard Colin and Catherine shouting at each other outside the home. They said they saw Colin grab his mother by the hair and pull her into the house as she pleaded for him to let her go. A neighbor who lived across the street, Nancy K. Jones, she spoke about what she saw. He opens the doors and there are a few arguments. Don't know exactly what the words were because I was sitting on my front porch. Next thing I know, he grabs her and pulls her inside the house. He just grabbed her, looked like he grabbed her by the hair. The medical examiner's office determined the stab wound in Catherine's neck was inconsistent with accidental injury.
Jeez.
The year prior, Colin shot and killed his father on Valentine's Day during an altercation. Colin told the police that his father had cornered him in a bedroom, so Colin picked up a gun and shot him, once in the chest and once in the head. That's what they call a double tap. Catherine paid $50,000 to get Colin out of jail. The charges against him regarding his father were dropped as self-defense couldn't be ruled out. Colin Griffith is a violent predator. He has now killed both his father and mother. That from Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd. We will hold him accountable in Polk County. We will do everything we can to keep him separated from civil society. Colin is being charged with first-degree murder, kidnapping, and violation of a no-contact order.
I remember that story when he shot his dad, and then mom bails him out on $50,000, and the charges get dropped, and he kills her.
Kills her. That's one of the first, maybe the first time I've ever seen a case where a year after the father was killed, the mother was killed by the same child.
Yeah. How you like that said, the stab wound to her neck didn't appear accidental.
Yeah.
I mean, people get a stab wound to their neck that's accidental.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know, bro. Florida, I know they have the death penalty, right? And they're not.
And they get a sheriff and Grady Judd that don't play.
Absolutely correct. Yep. And back on football real quick, I did a story on the 49ers #1 draft pick named Purcell, what his name was. He got shot. He got robbed and shot. Well, check this one out. In West Virginia, a star linebacker, same shit. So Jalik Zaire Harrington suffered multiple gunshot wounds after a disturbance in a Charleston apartment. He's a linebacker at West Virginia State University is dead after reportedly being shot during a home invasion. According to the Washington Post, Charleston Police Department Lieutenant Tony Hazlitt said that 21-year-old Jalik Zaire Harrington was found with multiple gunshot wounds inside a Charleston apartment on Wednesday night. Hazlitt said they attempted life-saving efforts, but he was pronounced dead on the scene. And a representative for West Virginia State said that the incident is being investigated by police as a home invasion. And the university confirmed Harrington's death in a post on Instagram on Thursday, writing, Our community has suffered a great loss with the death of student athlete Jalik Harrington. Jalik, a senior member of the Yellow Jacket football team, was a dedicated student athlete and a community leader. Our deepest condolences go out to Jalik's families, friends, coaches, and teammates. Now, the school originally said it would honor Harrington in a moment of silence before Thursday's football game, and which is against Carson Newman University, which happened to be the team that Harrington transferred from this year with the NIL stuff.
Yep.
And hours before kickoff, West Virginia State announced that the game would be postponed to the following day so both teams could hold private vigils on Thursday. That's just crazy, bro. The prime of your life, a good kid, been to one college, transferred to another one, has got everything ahead of him. It's killed in a home invasion.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get it.
There's no words for the stupidity.
It's what's it come to now? I mean, what could he have? A college student.
Right. Well, jealousy sometimes, I guess, gets in the way. He's someone who's making something of himself,
right.
And people don't like that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of stupidity,
there we go.
A man has died following an officer-involved shooting. This occurred in Denham Springs, Louisiana. According to the Denham Springs Police Department, the shooting happened Saturday morning, September 14th. This was on Rushing Road. Yep. The man has been identified by authorities as Chevis Whalen, 31, of Denham Springs. Police said they were dispatched to a Motel 6 on Rushing Road because Whalen was allegedly shooting from the second floor of the hotel. Police and deputies arrived with the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Office and encountered the man firing, or he had a firearm in the roadway. There were several calls of shots fired in the area, that from DSPD Sergeant Scott Sterling. When they arrived there, they did find a male, and that male met them out in the street, and he was armed with a rifle. Yeah. According to police, law enforcement exchanged gunfire with Whalen, and he was struck and rushed to a hospital where he later died. Fortunately, no officers were injured in this incident. According to DSPD, an outside agency has been contacted to conduct the investigation, and I want to talk about this for a second because there is something going on in the Denham Springs, Louisiana area where the police are, they came up with what I consider a great idea, which is, hey, let's have an occupancy tax on these hotels when people come in and stay, just like most of your hotels in the world.
Yep.
And maybe a 10% occupancy charge, and that will go 50% to the police department, 50% to the fire department. But the reason that it was brought up was there's so many issues at these hotels. Yep. And when they go, it's local people. It's not people traveling, going to see LSU play.
Right.
I live in Baton Rouge and I'm staying in a Denham Springs hotel. What are you doing? What do you think they're doing, Woody?
I can tell you what they're doing. The hardest door to kick in is a fucking hotel room door. I was on SWAT and we had the Ram. We did one here in Denham Springs. They were cooking meth in the hotel room, and I was on the Ram and I hit that door as hard as I could, and numerous times until I couldn't even swing the fucking ram.
It wouldn't open. Holy crap!
Frame would do it, and anyway, a lot of people do that, especially local people. They do that to go do their drugs and sex parties or whatever, and because they can't do it at their house, right, in their own neighborhood. A lot of these places, like, I'm not throwing shade on Motel 6 or the America's Best Value Inns or whatever, but they're a hodgepodge for drug activity and people, certainly there are good people there, but certainly there are people there with nefarious intent.
There's no doubt.
Cheap and they can trash them and do whatever and leave and not trash her own shit.
Yeah. And I actually talked to a detective from the DSPD and he told me, he said, Jim, we spend at least once a day getting a call to those hotels right there. And, if they're going to be nefarious about their activities at those hotels, well, they need to pay for it.
Yeah, I agree.
They need to pay for the police to go over there.
The tax thing's a totally legit deal. I mean, I traveled the country, and that's anywhere you go.
Yeah, it's strange. It's
if
not.
Your room's $200 a night, you get there, and it costs you $220.
Yeah,
because of the local tax.
That's right. So, that's right.
And good for them on getting their stuff taken care of.
Yeah, and thank God no policeman was injured in that incident.
Yes, indeed.
Could have been a lot worse.
Yes, indeed. I mean, and they're trained and they made the correct shots, right? Because it would have been one of them. And we'll go back to last year, I believe it was, when Sean Kelly got killed, the DSPD officer. But before then, I think it was the case that I worked where two DSPD officers went to the home they'd been to numerous times before, and they went to the guy's door and he opened up and shot them both. Right. David Hooter and I can't remember the guy's name now. It's been 25 years, but they shot and killed him. So, but anyway, I don't know. Hey, y'all, changing my wardrobe from summer to fall, it's never easy. Luckily, Quince offers timeless and high-quality items I adore, ensuring my wardrobe stays fresh and I don't blow my budget. And there's nothing easier than going to Quince and choosing these high-quality items, like cashmere sweaters from $50, pants for every occasion, washable silk tops, and so much more. The best part? All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. By partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes, and I love that. I got the stainless steel Link Apple Watch band for $59.90. It's heavy duty, it's awesome, and it's like $100 less than I could find anywhere else. And I also got a 100% organic cotton fisherman quarter zip up sweater. The color is alabaster. Man, I can't wait to wear that this fall. And Cindy got the Mongolian cashmere boat neck sweater in heather gray. And I'm telling you, these are classic pieces at a fraction of the price. Make switching seasons a breeze with Quince's high-quality closet essentials. Go to quince.com/RLRC for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/RLRC to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/RLRC. You'll thank me later. Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glace, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, and all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had. Keeping in with another story that I told the other day about crazy ass story about a woman in front of an apartment complex stomped on a cat's head and then ate it, eating it right in front of the apartment complex raw. And so I did that story. Yeah, there's no shit. You can't make it up. But listen what happened, y'all. I don't know if this is it's not a copycat thing, but this is fucking crazy. So police said a woman was arrested on animal cruelty charges and a cat was sent to a nearby humane society. So a woman in Washington was arrested after police found her abusing a cat in an apartment complex. So in a statement shared on social media on Thursday, September 12th, the Vancouver Police Department said the woman had been detained after she was allegedly seen strangling a cat. Now, the other lady stomped on the cat and ate it. She might have been a little crazy. I don't know what this woman's problem was. The department said that detectives with its domestic violence unit had gone to a residential complex for an unrelated call for service when an apartment manager informed them about a tenant who was seen in the lobby strangling a cat. Detectives said they were eventually able to locate the woman and they arrested her on charges of animal cruelty. Now, the cat, whose name is Apollo, is fortunately okay and was transported to a local humane society. And according to the police report, the woman arrested for the incident was identified as 34-year-old Amanda Nicole Blanco. A bystander who lives at the apartment building told the outlet that she and others contacted Vancouver police after witnessing the woman strangling the cat. It was very shocking, one witness who did not want to be identified said. I didn't wake up expecting to witness that. Regardless of where you find yourself, if you see any type of animal abuse, you should report it. Now, the detective said in the police report that Blanco appeared to be under the influence of drugs. Imagine that. Authorities added per the report that they observed her holding the cat by the neck as she walked around. Blanco also appeared to shake the animal and squeeze the neck of the cat with both hands. That's what the police report said. A woman told officers, according to the outlets, that the cat had been her emotional support animal. That's fucking crazy. And Sam Ellington, a spokesperson for the Humane Society for Southwest Washington, where the Apollo was sent, told the TV station, any instance of pet cruelty is heartbreaking. We're grateful to have the opportunity to provide the care and support this cat needs and deserves. And if anyone in our community witnesses a pet being abused or neglected, they should contact their local animal control. Isn't that crazy, bro?
That is,
I mean, come on.
bizarre. To say the least.
Walking around in the apartment complex, strangling and shaking your cat.
Yeah.
I mean, they saw it. What the fuck?
Freaking cat.
You see that documentary, Don't Fuck with Cats?
I've heard about it. I haven't watched it.
That. I actually watched it.
Was that on Netflix?
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix.
Huh. Maybe I'll check that out.
With cats.
Well, we're gonna stop fucking with cats and we're gonna go to Alabama. And I really want to get your thoughts on this. I can imagine you have a lot of them, but I'm going to tell you about a sister who accidentally found her brother's remains more than 3 months after he died in a car wreck.
Wow.
Yeah, this is one you're going to want to hear. So after more than 3 months since that crash in Alabama, a woman discovered the body of her missing brother. She is now accusing law enforcement of inadequately searching the area at the time of the accident. 34-year-old Katie Lewis said she's haunted by the road that she discovered her brother's body on. Honestly, I never want to drive down that road again, she said. It's just unfair that he had to sit there for 3 months. She further detailed the shock of seeing her brother's body. I can only imagine. It was awful. It was something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. On September 2nd, Lewis discovered the body of her brother, 30-year-old Cody Martin, approximately 20 steps into the woods off County Road 55 in Cullum. The Morgan County Sheriff's Office, they arrived at the scene and they verified the grisly discovery. Lewis reported Martin missing on July 26, stating she last saw him on May 18th. During Labor Day weekend, she finally received news from a vigilant tow truck company, who confirmed they have removed her brother's wrecked car from the location where it crashed into a telephone pole on May 30th. Lewis realized she needed to investigate the scene for herself. Lewis and her brother-in-law spent approximately 30 minutes searching in the woods before discovering the remains. The body was later identified through dental records. The Morgan County coroner, Jeff Chun, confirmed that the cause of death will be attributed to blunt force injuries sustained in that automobile accident. Alabama state troopers, they arrived at the scene of the initial accident, and she criticized first responders for not conducting a thorough search of the area and is now seeking legal counsel to further investigate the matter. He was not protected, and they did not serve that day. My brother was right here. If they would have searched, they would have found my brother. She's also advocating for legislation that mandates a more thorough investigation of crime scenes to prevent similar tragedies from affecting other families. Either a canine or a foot search is made of the area, and they'll have a higher percentage of locating them. She insisted.
I have a lot of thoughts on that. One, a lot of these scenes when you pull up and at the signal 20's vehicle crashes and the driver's not there. Well, if they hadn't been taken to the hospital, usually they're drunk and they got out and ran, right?
Yeah.
And get arrested. Maybe they thought that's what happened. And I don't know exactly how far it would have been if he's ejected from the car or if he stumbled into the woods after his injuries and died. I don't know. Really, there's no good.
Yeah.
No goodness to the story. Certainly, they didn't go out there and just say, "Oh well, fuck it, we're whatever."
What is procedure when in a situation like that? Is there a rule, a certain size of area you need to search?
No rules on that, and it's officer discretion. And you would use your experience on one thinking, well, maybe I need to look, right?
Yeah,
and then so really, there's no rhyme or reason to it, and I'm sure they'll be looking harder in the future. But there was a local case, and I'm not going to say who or what or when, but it was a lifer reached out to me, and their brother had and there was a son or brother, I believe, it had been seen walking through an area, and then they hadn't been seen for like 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah,
and law enforcement went out and searched the area, a wooded area that he was last seen going into. And they go out and they didn't find him. And then the family goes back, I don't know, like a couple of weeks later or whatever it was. And they actually did evidently a more thorough search, and they found him.
Yeah.
Deceased and then badly decomposed and all that. I mean, I don't know. I don't believe, and this is what I told them, I said, I don't believe this law enforcement agency went out there and just did a half-ass job.
Yeah.
I mean,
they
sometimes you just don't see.
They want closure on that as much as anybody else.
And of course, then it opens up to conspiracies of foul play and all that, even though the guy was a known drug user and what have you. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that. It's I don't know. I mean, I certainly think if he got ejected through the windshield or whatever, you look at the evidence like that and you say, well, we need to go look, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Jessica Chambers' case, the first scorched justice I ever did, she came out of the woods on fire, right? Her car was on fire and she was burned up. This is a small town Mississippi Police Department, but they do the original crime scene. They didn't fucking search the woods where she came from. They just did a little research right around the car.
Wow.
And then they never went in and searched. I'm like, motherfucker, she came out of the woods. I actually went to that location, stood where it happened at. I mean, she came out of the woods. Why you didn't even cross, into that area, right? Who knows what could have been lost or anything. I don't know. Speaking of woods or maybe trespassing or whatever, let me tell you another story. In Colorado, there was a teenager planning to take photos on a property. Well, he got shot in the face.
No.
Yep. So the teens were in their car parked on a public road when police say the boyfriend, meaning that the boyfriend of the person who owned the land. The boyfriend shot the 17-year-old driver through the windshield. The two teens had parked outside the gated Colorado home, jumped the fence, and looked around for the owner, hoping to take homecoming photographs on the property. And this was one of the 17-year-olds told authorities. The boys, whose names have not been released, returned to their car, which was parked on the public roadway, and started writing the woman a letter requesting permission. But they were disrupted when a man pulled up beside them, blocking the teens in as he exited his truck before firing a bullet through the windshield, which struck the 17-year-old driver in the face. And a responding deputy recovered the gun used in the shooting inside the man's truck. And that's according to the sheriff's office. Brent Metz, 38, was arrested in connection to the Tuesday, September 10th shooting and booked into jail on one charge of first-degree assault, 2 counts each of felony, menacing, and reckless endangering, one charge of illegal discharge of a firearm. And he posted his bond at 5:30 p.m. the following day. So evidently this kid didn't get killed, right? Because the 17-year-old was released from the hospital on Thursday, September 12th, and is recovering at home. But deputies were dispatched to Conifer, Colorado residents at 4:15 p.m. Tuesday after the homeowner, a woman who is not named and who Kelly says is not facing any charges, called to report the 2 trespassers on the properties, right? And investigators say she also called her boyfriend Metz regarding the teen. As the deputy approached the 2 vehicles, he saw the 17-year-old bleeding heavily from his face, while a 16-year-old friend held a T-shirt to the wounds in an effort to stop the bleeding. And before the 17-year-old was taken to the hospital by ambulance, he told authority that Metz, who was standing with the teens when the deputy arrived and who the boys did not know, had shot him. 17-year-old told the deputy that the boys had walked up the homeowner's driveway, and when no one seemed to be there, had walked around the property in search of the owner. Well, that's probably a no-no. But it was not immediately clear if Metz retained a lawyer, blah, blah, blah. What do you think about that? We talked about that the other day, remember?
Yeah.
But I mean, you could have just told the cops, say, I got trespassers. Why in the fuck you got to shoot somebody in the face?
Right.
You could block them in and shoot them in the face. You could have blocked them in and called the cops.
Yeah.
And got away with it.
Well, and that's the, one thing to hammer down, and this is a good example of that, but let the police do their job. And I know that's hard. Look, I had a neighbor of mine during the hurricane, Woody with his wonderful ESP, has mentioned on this show many times how during storms, these generators in Louisiana, you'll hear them shut off in the middle of the night,
middle
right?
of the night, your air conditioner turns off.
Well, lights go out, and a neighbor right down the street from me, he steps outside his back door, and there's a guy back there grabbing his generator because he went out to turn it on. So what does he do? He goes, calls his neighbor. The guy runs. He calls his neighbor. They call the police, but then they go looking for the guy, gun toting, looking for the guy. You never know who you're dealing with.
That's the problem. People don't. It's regular people who have
I would probably be apt to do the same thing, but
they haven't dealt with the evil, and they don't know that this guy may be wanted for murder, maybe whatever.
That's right.
And so just let them cops do their jobs. And I mean, I don't know. I've been in a lot of cases where the neighbors and said, look, one guy ran over his wife. I did a story on that pregnant wife 3 times. And the neighbors came out. Basically,
vigilante justice.
By the time I got there, that motherfucker was rough. and she was pregnant. She lived, and it was a miracle, right?
Wow.
And but I understand detaining someone, but even doing that, you
take a chance. I mean, they had a police officer in Baton Rouge recently get killed, and we reported on this story. He's an ex-police officer, but he's also an Army Ranger, so he's a tough dude, and he got shot 8 times going after somebody pulling on door handle.
Yep.
So no matter how badass you are, you can get caught.
Be killed. That's right. There's always somebody better.
That's right.
Hey, ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement, it's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC. Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of an LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdowns scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill, and calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gifts to the coolest finds for kids, to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
Uh-oh. We got a mile high crime today. And this one, I know I build up these mile high crimes, but this one might be the best one ever.
Oh, this can be good.
So pick up them ears for this one. A California man was arrested for reportedly, and this ain't funny, but reportedly choking and kicking several flight attendants on Frontier Airlines while shouting frantically, "The airplane is going down." The man was screaming this during his mid-flight hissy fit. That from federal prosecutors. 30-year-old Charles Salva is charged with assaulting the crew shortly after the flight departed from Santa Ana heading to San Francisco on Monday. Salva, fresh from a weekend at Disneyland with his 3-year-old daughter, told investigators afterward, ready for this? That he was a child molester.
What?
His flight meltdown was caused by his fear that those aboard were trying to coerce him into confessing for his crime.
Oh, my God.
The outburst erupted when Salva reportedly stood up and attempted to remove his oxygen mask from an overhead compartment. This was while the seatbelt sign was eliminated. When the flight attendants approached to check on him, Salva began to unleash a barrage of cuss words and panic-inducing declarations. We're all going to hell. And this airplane is going down, he screamed. He then lunged at fellow passengers before sprinting toward the rear of the plane. There, the flight attendants attempted to restrain him. According to the filing, Salva choked a crew member, left 2 marks on the victim's neck as flight attendants and other passengers attempted to restrain him. He reportedly left another flight attendant bruised after kicking them roughly 6 times in the leg during the chaos. However, the enraged passengers' freakout had only just begun. The agitated passenger, who shouted the threats to kill everyone at one point, managed to free himself from his flex cuffs. He ultimately had to be subdued with a seatbelt. The flight was diverted to Ontario International Airport because the flight attendants felt unsafe returning Salva to his seat. Salva was removed from the plane by law enforcement on a gurney, and he later informed officers he had consumed ecstasy before boarding the flight. Imagine freaking that. He has since been charged
before you get on the plane.
that's the craziest part. You're not in a nightclub. Holy shit. So he has since been charged with, I mean, who does that? Interfering with flight crew members, etc., and faces a maximum of 20 years in federal prison. But could you imagine being on a plane when this goes down?
Rolling,
You can't make that shit up.
Crazy. And then pedophile coming from a self-proclaimed pedophile coming from the happiest place on earth, full of kids.
Oh God, I know. I know.
That is absolutely out the box.
Oh, it was. I just could not believe what I was reading.
Unreal.
Oh, a double dose of some segments today.
Oh, yeah. Time for Kinky Crimes.
Tuesday's Kinky is a really kinky day anyway.
Yes, indeed. Well, and this is actually a repeat incident. And I'll tell you about it. And for the second time in 2 years, a Florida woman has been arrested for a dildo-related domestic battery.
Oh, man, we reported it the first time.
I know.
That's crazy.
Chelsea White, 35, and her boyfriend were in the kitchen about to eat when the man discovered that his missing glass dildo was inside White's backpack in the couple's Fort Pierce residence. Right? How you figure
missing, huh?
Yeah, you going to claim.
Hell, my dildo.
My glass dildo. During the 11 p.m. tussle that ensued, White and the 35-year-old victim exchanged assorted blows. Then after the pair briefly separated, the man told cops White began hitting him again after he went to grab the backpack. White was standing in the kitchen and threw the glass dildo at her beau. Right? The dildo missed its target, instead hitting the door and waking the couple's child.
Oh, Lord.
White then grabbed the bag and walked away from the property. She was located hours later and arrested for domestic battery. She's locked up in the county jail on a $1,000 bond, was arraigned on Wednesday on the misdemeanor count. And when questioned by deputies about the recent confrontation, the victim said that White was arrested in the past for a similar incident where they got into an altercation over.
I remember that.
That
story.
At first detailed in these pages, White was busted in late 2022 when a verbal argument over a handbag and a sex toy turned violent. White investigators charged White kicked and bit the victim, who had asked White to return the sex toy to him because he owned it. White, however, refused to give the sex toy back to the victim, and White was found guilty on battery and sentenced to 12 months probation. Now she's going to do that time, but she was also ordered to pay $800 in fines and court fees, and was required to complete a batters intervention program. I thought I was going to say batters, but It is unclear if the same dildo was involved in both of these episodes.
Oh my
There's
gosh.
a kinky-
Now that's kinky, bro.
Kinky crimes for Tuesday.
How do you get charged twice with dildo battery?
No, they need to quit.
Jeez.
They just need to quit.
There you go.
Yeah, there you have it.
Well, any final thoughts, Warrior?
No, love and appreciate each other. I did want to say something. You know, this is not a political show, period. Evidently, on Sunday, somebody else was trying to shoot former President Trump.
Yeah.
Look, I don't care if
Tempted.
you're for Trump or Harris or whoever. Fucking quit it.
Yeah.
Quit hating and don't let anybody shoot Harris and don't anybody shoot Trump. And I mean, stop it. But that's it. Our prayers go out to everybody and stay safe and we love y'all.
Yeah. And I concur with everything you just said.
Right.
And until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And we're your host of Real Life, Real Crime Daily. Peace.